Welcome to Exam Sale. In this video we break down the official syllabus for the Fortinet NSE 440 OS 6.2 exam. You will get a clear roadmap of each domain, the weight, difficulty, and what to focus on during study. Overview of the exam domains and weights. Content inspection 28%, VPN 16%, routing and layer 2 14%, firewall and NAT 12%, deployment 8%, authentication 8%, high availability 8%, and monitoring and reporting 6%. The full syllabus represents about 48 estimated learning hours and mixes conceptual, scenario-based, and hands-on assessments. Focus your time on content inspection and VPN since they carry the largest weight and highest difficulty. Content inspection is weighted 28%, is rated hard, and has an estimated 12 learning hours with conceptual and scenario-based assessment. You will learn advanced threat protection and deep packet inspection services including antivirus flow-based versus proxy-based scanning, FortiGuard configuration, file quarantine and outbreak prevention, and how to monitor and troubleshoot antivirus logs. The web filtering section covers FortiGuard categories, static URL filtering, DNS versus proxy filtering, quotas and safe search, and how to analyze web filter logs, application control, IPS and DOS protection, and SSL/SSH inspection. Complete this domain with topics like application signatures, IPS sensors and custom rules, DOS thresholds, certificate-based inspection, CA management, and troubleshooting SSL handshake failures. VPN accounts for 16%, is rated hard, and expects about 8 hours of study with hands-on and conceptual assessment. You will configure secure remote access and site-to-site connectivity through SSL VPN web and tunnel modes, portal settings, host check and realm-based authentication, and learn split tunneling trade-offs and session troubleshooting. The ISEC topics cover Phase 1 and Phase 2 parameters, route-based and policy-based designs, the ISEC wizard and templates, ICAV 1 versus ICAV 2 differences, tunnel negotiation troubleshooting, and redundant or dynamic tunnel configurations. Hands-on practice on tunnel setup and real troubleshooting scenarios is essential for certification success. Routing and layer 2 is 14%, medium difficulty, with about 7 learning hours and conceptual plus scenario-based assessment. Expect to configure static and policy-based routing, understand route priority and administrative distance, set up SD-WAN interfaces and rules, and analyze the FortiGate routing table. You will also learn basic OSPF and BGP concepts for dynamic routing, virtual domains and inter-VDOM links with permissions and resource limits, and layer 2 concepts such as VLANs, software switches, spanning tree settings, and virtual wire pair behavior. Troubleshooting inter-VDOM communication and load balancing or failover scenarios is part of this domain. Firewall and NAT represents 12%, medium difficulty, and about 6 hours of study with hands-on and conceptual assessment. You will learn to design and configure firewall policies including source, destination, and service components, apply security profiles within policies, and understand policy matching order. Topics include traffic shaping and rate limiting and how to implement policy-based routing triggers. NAT study covers SNAT and DNAT, central SNAT versus policy-based NAT, configuring VIPs for server publishing, IP pool considerations, and analyzing NAT session tables and translation logs. Deployment is 8%, easy, with approximately 4 learning hours and conceptual plus scenario-based assessment. This domain covers initial FortiGate setup including model selection, GUI and CLI configuration, administration settings, firmware management, system date and time, and the use of FortiGuard services. You will also study the Fortinet security fabric components, how to configure a fabric root and downstream nodes, view physical and logical topology, use security rating and automation stitches, and how external connectors integrate into the fabric. Authentication is 8%, medium difficulty, with about 4 hours of study and scenario-based assessment. Expect to configure local and remote user authentication and learn support for Radius, LDAP and TACAX plus 2-factor authentication with FortiToken and captive portal steps. Fortinet single sign-on topics include agent-based and agentless modes, configuring the FSSO collector agent, NTLM and Kerberos flows, directory service connectors, and troubleshooting group mapping and connectivity. Practical scenarios will test your ability to correlate authentication logs and active user lists. High availability is 8%, medium difficulty, with an estimated 4 hours and hands-on plus conceptual assessment. You will learn HA operation modes such as active-passive and active-active, how primary unit selection works, and how to configure heartbeat links and synchronization. Topics include session pickup, synchronization details, failover triggers and monitoring, and how to perform HA management and coordinated firmware upgrades to maintain continuity. Hands-on configuration and failover testing will prepare you for real-world deployments and exam scenarios. Monitoring and reporting is 6%, easy, with about 3 learning hours and conceptual plus scenario-based assessment. This domain focuses on logging and monitoring, including local and remote logging destinations, log severity levels and filters, and integration with FortiAnalyzer and FortiCloud. You will configure alert emails, SNMP, analyze real-time traffic monitors and dashboards, and practice CLI diagnostic and sniffer commands to perform deep troubleshooting and verify policy behavior. That wraps up the syllabus summary for Fortinet NSE for FortiOS 6.2. Use the domain weights and estimated hours to prioritize study time. Focus on deep packet inspection and VPN hands-on labs, and practice real scenarios for routing, HA and authentication. Good luck, study smart, and visit the official Fortinet documentation for each topic as you prepare.